Hi, sisters.
I mean, is that allowed?
I'm just kidding. That was a little much. Hi guys, I'm James Holland. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new James Charles X Morphe Unleash Your Inner Artist Palette Launch 2, which is the mini version of the original palette. So what I'm gonna do for you guys, we've all seen a million different tutorials on the original palette. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you some swatch comparisons for specific shades to see if the formulation is the same, to see if everything else is pretty much the same and comparable between the two palettes. I'll talk about a little bit about the palette and the changes that the palette has gone through, and I'm gonna show you a look that I love doing with the original palette, and I'm gonna use this palette to do it. Hold on to your brushes. It's makeup time, bitches. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this new launch, this new palette. This palette is $26 as compared to the original James Charles X Morphe palette, which is $39. So it's significantly cheaper. It's also travel size, so it is smaller than the initial palette. But that was kind of the whole point, was it was something that you can take with you on the go when you're traveling. I will say I used my James Charles original palette. This is my original one here all the time. You can kind of see it's a little messy. I've hit pan on a couple of shades. I took this to Coachella. I've taken this on many other trips where I've gone to different places and used this palette just because it's so versatile, and it has every color that you could want, and you can make whatever kind of look you want. So I was one of the ones that was kind of really excited to see the new palette launch. Now, some people were a little unhappy with this launch, saying that, oh, it's just the same palette over again. We don't need another palette over again. We want a new palette. We want something different. This seems like a cash grab, and I don't really see it as that. There are honestly so many makeup products that come in travel size. It's not a new concept, and honestly, that larger palette is hard to travel with. So I'm excited to have a palette that I can travel with, that I know that will work for me. So let's go ahead and take a look at this palette, open her up. This is the size of it here. You know, it's significantly smaller. It's definitely travel size. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside. This is the inside. One of the major differences between this one and the old one is the mirror. So it does come with that mirror there. And here are the swatches. It's the same color story. Let's take a look at the bigger palette and the smaller palette together. So there you go. You see the difference. Definitely smaller pan sizes with the same colors, the same situation going on. So what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna swatch some of the shades. I mean, I'm not gonna swatch all of the shades because we've all seen the swatches of the shades, and it would literally take me like 3 years to do all of that, and so I'm not gonna do that. What I am gonna do is do certain swatch comparisons of the shades that I love, and also some shades that are a little harder to formulate. So I wanted to show you how do these swatches compare between the old palette and the new palette. So the first one I'm gonna swatch is one of my favorite shades, which is Socialblade. It's the green shade, the light green shade. So I'm going to swatch the old palette first, which I've hit pan on, and I'm going to swatch the new palette second. So the old palette is this first one here. So here's the old, and then here is the new. So you can see the difference there. They're pretty much the same kind of situation going on. So let's take a look at the next shade that I want to swatch, the yellow shade, which is B. So I'm going to go into the old palette first, and then I'm going to go into the new palette. So the first shade here we have is the old. This is one of my favorite colors in this palette, this yellow, bright yellow color. I love a bright yellow. And then this one is the new. Pretty much the same. They're swatching a little better, honestly, from the new one, but I think that's because my old one is old and I've used it so much. But there's the differences there for those. Now I'm gonna go into Escape, first with the old, and then with the new. You know the drill by now, right? So this one, first one is the old, and then we have the new here. Same thing, they're the same formulation. Pretty sure everything is the same. We don't have any real changes here. Let's go into Ring Light, which is a shimmer shade in the old and in the new. So we've got the old here, and then we've got the new. Those are those shades there. So I would say same formulation. They're gonna perform in the same way. The significant difference is the smaller pan size, obviously, which translates into a smaller price point. It's easier to carry around. Let's go ahead and play with it. Okay, so I have put on a little bit Anastasia eye primer. I actually did part of this eye already and then realized I wasn't recording.
I can't. Get out.
So I wiped it off, put on some Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer, and we gon' do it again. Devil works hard, but we work harder on this channel. So what I'm gonna do first is take my CXC Beauty blending brush and take the shade Skip and just go ahead and hit this right underneath my brow very gently. These colors are all super pigmented, so you really want to use a gentle hand and not go too heavy right off the bat, because the minute you go too heavy is the minute you done messed up, Aaron. So all I'm doing is kind of laying down this pink shadow very gently in the shape that I want, and then I'm going to deepen that color up in a second. And of course, I have my little mirror now with the James Charles palette, so I can really get up close and personal with my eye and see all my flaws, the ones that you can't see. I'm going to take that same brush and go into 518, which is the orange shade, and just pull that down into the center and blend all of that together. Now I'm going to go ahead and take another CXC Beauty blending brush. This is a crease brush, and I'm going to go into Escape, and I'm just going to hit this in my crease just to deepen up this color here. And like I said, I'm going very, very, very light-handed here. Don't use a heavy hand. Or, I mean, use a heavy hand. Do whatever you want. But I'm not using a heavy hand. So just very gently. And of course, I'm like looking into this mirror when I have this mirror right here. So I'm so used to having to bend over. And now, look. Amazing. So I'm just hitting this outer V and just kind of blending it all together. Now I'm going to back into Skip with my initial brush and just lay the pink on top, blending out even more. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease. You know, if you watch my channel, which you all should watch my channel, I cut my crease with a MAC 231 brush. It's a thin, kind of short brush, and I have to cut my crease well above my eyelid. And so to do so, I like to have a lot of control over where I cut my crease. And I'm using the Anastasia eye primer again to just fake it till I make it when it comes to these lids. And if honestly anyone wants to come be my assistant, so I have a third hand and just like kind of hold this in front of me while I do this, that would be amazing. So you can leave a comment down below and you can apply to do that, I guess. Okay, now I'm going to go into some of these shimmer shades. I'm going to be using an M124 brush, and we're going into the light blue Hello. 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 And we're just gonna put that on the inner corner. And we're gonna pack that shade down. Of course, remember, if you wet your brush, you can really make these shimmers pop. Now I'm going to go into Acapella, which is the darker blue shimmer, and I'm going to put that on the center of my lid. Now I'm going to take an M506 brush and go into Cola, which is a matte blue shade, and I'm just going to blend this purple and this blue shimmer together with that matte shade. Okay, let's go ahead and hit that lower lash line. I'm going to use Escape and go about halfway. And then I'm going to use Skip and just kind of blend it all out. And I'm going to go into 518 and hit this inner corner and blend that all out as well. Okay, y'all, that is pretty much one eye done. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye and put on some lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. I put on some Lily lashes. These are in the style Tokyo. This is the finished eye look. The only thing we have left to do is highlighter. Now, the shade Ring Light is one of my favorite highlighters, actually. And if I had to say, James, make another product, I would say, James, make a highlighter. Because I know that he's got some good ideas when it comes to highlighting, to making yourself glow. So I would like to see some highlighters for sure. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this shade here I'm gonna take my Jaclyn Hill JH39 brush and put it where I like it best, right in the inner corners to brighten that all up. And now that we're all highlighted, we're pretty much done. This is the final look. Obviously, this palette is a great palette. We've done Ben Knew This, right? But it's even better now simply because it's so portable. I love the mirror. You're able to travel with it if you need to travel with it. So I really think it's going to serve me well on all my trips that I take. When I need to put it in my client kit, I can easily port it around. So I'm really excited about this launch. Do you need both palettes? No, not necessarily. If you like the original palette and you feel like you don't really travel, you don't really have a need for a smaller palette, then obviously you don't need to get it. But it's definitely a good idea if you do travel, if you do want something that's portable. Also, you want that mirror. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And make sure to subscribe, comment down below, all the things. And you can even ring the bell so you don't miss any of this new and exciting content that we put out on this channel. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.